What's going on to you crabs out here? So you have the Five of Cups, the Tower, and then you crabs also have the Magician. So I'm using my Dragon Tarot deck. So what I'm seeing here for you, um, crabs, right? Just cleaning some stuff off the desk. But anyway, what I'm seeing here for you crabs is that you crabs are in a situation where you have someone that very much so that's interesting. The Five of Cups, the Tower, and the Magician represents you crabs. It represents how you may have felt like you were regretful about the decisions that you've made. But I want you crabs to understand to not be regretful of it. Just embrace it. You know, as long as you learn from your lessons and you've denounced certain aspects of who you are, you know, you'll be all right. You know, no one is perfect at the end of the day. Me, you, no one. You know I get up on here, and for some people it may sound like I'm perfect. That's not true. And I wanna definitely let you crabs know that that's not true. You know, no one is perfect. And the reason why it is I'm saying that is because you crabs, you're putting too much pressure on yourselves. You expect yourself to be perfect. And the truth is, like I've been saying, no one is. No one is perfect. You know, the best thing for you crabs to do ultimately, right, is to embrace who you actually are, which is what it is that you crabs did, right? You became ashamed of who you are, but at the same time, you also learned from the shame. And what I mean the shame, I mean like the past relationship decisions, just the decisions that you've made in general, relationship, friends in general, right? Just that you wish that you would have never have done. And to be honest with you, again, you know, there's some things that I wish that I would have never have done too, but we have to figure a way out to live with it. You know, um, the page of swords and the three of swords right here speaks to how a lot of you crabs, though, one of the regrets was hanging out with this individual, because I'm learning as well, right? As well as I'm reading these cards. But one of the regrets was hanging out with this individual, because this person, if you crabs are getting to know somebody, first and foremost, I'm seeing how a lot of you crabs are definitely trying to put yourselves out there, which is great. You definitely trying to put yourselves out there. You're trying to see what's going on. You're trying to actually meet brand new people, which is great. That's amazing, right? And then at the same time, you're also trying to give people a legitimate chance. But to be fair with it, you are meeting some weirdos. You are meeting some weird individuals at this point in time. Um, and one of those individuals that you crabs are meeting, or you, I should say meeting, but you have met, is an individual who's very skeptical of you crabs. You know, they constantly vacillate between being in and out. Let me explain something to you crabs. If a person is doing something like that, then it means that they are insecure. You know, if a person has to vacillate in and out, in and out, in and out, they're insecure, because what it is they're trying to be in a relationship with you, but then at the same time they're trying not to get hurt. That let me be more accurate. They're trying to be in a relationship with you, but they're trying to get out ahead in front of you crabs, you know, going off and going with someone else, or you say or do something that will ruin the trust between the two of you. That's the situation, you know. That's the situation that you crabs have got going on. You crabs have to watch that type of stuff. The reason why it is I'm saying that is because that type of mentality, that insecurity, is what ruined the connection between you and this person. And I know I don't want to come here all the time and tell you crabs about what kind of relationship that y'all going through. I want y'all to legitimately have a win. It's just that, once again, to say it again, when it comes to dating, we're in a time right now where people are not getting their match. Very rarely are people actually getting their match. Good people are being matched up with dysfunctional individuals, right? In this, and then ruining, great individuals with other people. Like for instance, right? A person may, a dude may hurt a chick, right? As far as emotionally, right? Betray her trust and all of that, right? And then another guy may actually try to go at such and such chick, right? Chick may not necessarily want to give him a chance. So that's the kind of dynamic now that I'm talking about, right? So what I'm trying to say here for you is that I don't want to going to come here and say this, but I have to report on what it is that I'm seeing, right? I can't just go ahead and tell y'all some nonsense. Otherwise, I'm not being sincere with these. I'm saying it to get more views. So what I'm seeing here is that this person is a weirdo, because the temperance, the justice, and the two of swords, you crabs are not bugging out about what this person thinks that you are. This person ultimately is really, they have a chip on their own shoulder. That's what the Page of Swords and the Three of Swords is about. It's about they're not actually really ready to date, because you crabs are having problems with them because you're being chill. I mean, you're not creating mischief or dysfunction through the relationship. You want to find out if they want to hang out. You're hanging out with them, right? It's pretty peaceful, honestly, for you anyway. But then this person, they're too caught up in their own insecurity for them to actually understand that you crabs are being peaceful with them, right? You're making it easy on them. It's not this difficult wrestling match, but they can't really perceive that. This is what I mean when I say that we're in the era where this what happens, right? People, for the most part, most people aren't really finding their match. You have some people who are finding their match, but the majority of people are not really finding their match. Not really. The majority of people not really finding their match, because what's going on here is that you'll also have like people who are incredibly narcissistic, talk nonsense to individuals who are decent people, right? Straight up lie to them, talk about how it is that, oh, that's your match. And it's like, that's a lie. Which it is a lie, because if that's really your match, then how is it that many people from all different walks of life and you can get along with a lot of other people? But when it comes to you crabs getting to know these people, it just seems like they always got some nonsense going on as to why it is that you so terrible. And I've asked this question before, and I'm glad that other people are picking it up. If you crabs were so terrible, why is it that these people are back here trying to talk to you? You would stand to think that these people should get away from you, right? And it's kind of pathetic that you as crabs have to be the person who is more an advocate for the other person than they even are an advocate even for themselves. And what I mean by that is the perspective of you're supposed to be the dysfunctional one, right? But then you crabs have to turn around and question them, why are they back here? Like, you would think that the person who is, you would think that since you're the person who's being dysfunctional to them, you would think that you wouldn't be the one that's questioning it. You would just accept them to come back and continue to toy with them, right? So why are you questioning why are they coming back, right? Or why are they here? So now the Scorpio energy and the Emperor, right? Mars energy with these two. They're both ruled by Mars. Scorpio is ruled by Mars. Aries is ruled by Mars, right? Scorpio is ruled by Mars first, then Pluto. But the point that I'm trying to make here with that is that so yeah. So these two cards represent how you crabs, you're just gonna sit and wait. A lot of you are figuring it out. Look, crabs, let me tell you like this, right? Let me tell you something that will really help you out, right? Go after the people who you want to go after, or allow some people to come to you. However it is that the two of you meet is what I'm trying to say. Whether they come to you, whether you come to them. I think way too many people put too much of an emphasis on who should approach. Who, you know what I'm saying? Like, and what I mean by that is, to give you a blueprint, it doesn't matter who approaches. The only people who put so much of an emphasis on who approaches and has a serious problem with it, truth be told, are people who are really scared of approaching. You know, no disrespect, because what it is that there's a lot of excuses because the person is trying to cover up a fear of approaching. That's all that is. You know, and as adults, we need to be able to admit and accept this about ourselves so that we can actually evolve, because it's so weird, because we grow up and our ego gets developed big time, but when we're young, we're brave and we are fearless. But then the older we get, you would think that the older we get, the more experience we have, is the more brave we are. No, it's the opposite. You know, little children are brave because of their innocence, you know, but then at the same time, as it is that we get older, we get more scared of everything, you know. But the point that I'm trying to make here with that is my point. The fact that however it is that you meet, you crabs need to pay more attention to who is willing to actually work for you. And what I mean when I say work for you, I'm not talking about work for you from an employee's perspective. I'm talking about a person who actually doesn't make it so difficult. Part of the problem that a lot of us is having, and this is something that I've been focusing on myself, is how people give you a difficult time. Like, I'm not interested long term in anybody who's trying to essentially get me to chase up on after them. But not only that too, but also nothing really gets established, because people who want you to chase up on after them, there's no value in these people. They're not very good conversationalists. All they do is talk about themselves, if they do talk. If they do talk, because they're terrible conversationalists. When you start talking to them about something that is mutual, that is something that is not about them, it's not specifically about you, it's mutual, it's something that is more impersonal, right? The two of you can actually talk about it. They, a lot of the times, like if I'm really gonna go there, a lot of people are fake spiritualists. Like, a lot of people don't really understand what spirituality is really about. They don't take the time, you know, they only understand a certain degree of it, but a lot of the times they act like they're more astute than what they think they are, or what they act like, right, they act like they're more astute than what they actually are. And that's not true. So am I saying this to insult people? No, I know everyone is getting it together. I know everyone is trying to find themselves and get it together. But the point that I'm trying to make here is that you crabs have something to offer. That's why the emperor came up. You have something to offer. And a lot of people are really missing out on what you crabs have to offer because of their own delusion, right? Ego is a thing in this world. Ego is a big problem in this world, right? Um, and that it's a huge problem, huge problem. Because they don't really know how to. This person is wilding out like this because they are insecure around you. They don't really know how to really look at the situation. They find you crabs to be very attractive, and the situation with you is that what's messing them up is the fact that you crabs are not a jerk to them. See, this is the thing. When a person finds you to be attractive and you're not a jerk to them, they really don't know how to move with you, to be real with you, if I'm being honest. So the fact that you crabs are transparent and you know how to actually like approach people or have people approach you, and you're not out of your mind, that puts you in a whole different category. So let's clarify the emperor, which is you this year, right? The magician is you, the emperor, all that. Queen of Pentacles, the moon, the page of cups, the fool card, which is holding up a cup, and then the wheel of fortune, which is crabs, right? So, right? And then the moon card is ruled by Pisces, but it's also ruled by you crabs as well. So this is my point, right? You crabs are learning and you're trying to figure it out. And a lot of people tell me that same thing too, trying to figure it out. And the thing is that the answer is this, right? Because there's many different answers, but one of the answers is pay attention to who is willing to pay attention to who's not actually so egocentric, and then pay attention to see if they are entitled to you. If a person is entitled to you, that itself is a dub. There's been plenty of times where I've gotten to know people that liked me, but I've stopped messing with them because it wasn't from a perspective of sincerity. It was from a perspective of, you chosen me, so now that you've chosen me, that means that I am obligated to choose you, because the sense of entitlement, that sense of sitting up on the high horse. You understand what I'm saying? And of course, me and the person didn't get along. I didn't date them because it wasn't coming from a pure place, and people's egos is out of control. And if a person has an out of control ego, this is the reason why I will not get with them, right? So the Queen of Pentacles, right, the moon and the page of cups speaks to how you crabs ultimately, right, again, pay attention to see if they are into you, and then also pay attention to see if they are deluded, truth be told. The Fool card and the Wheel of Fortune, right, speaks to how you crabs also make sure that it is 50-50. And I talk about 50-50 so much because the two of you have to be just as involved as the other person. Otherwise, the relationship doesn't work, because part of the problem that people are having is that they are putting in so much of an effort. They're bringing so much value to a person, and that's not being reciprocated. The person does not appreciate what the other person has. or the person appreciates it, but they know that they can never repay it. So they feel like they are being buried up underneath debt because they feel like they have to repay it. And they don't. They don't have to repay it in the same fashion that they do, that the other person's shown them. Right? They just have, they have to repay it with their sincerity and their effort. So my suggestion to you is to, like I said before, see who comes to you. And what I mean when I say see who comes to you, I mean see who remains. You can approach whoever does the approaching, see who remains. So that's it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video. Hope you got something out of this.